Okay, just to keep it up, I'm waiting for some food, so I'm gonna put a timeout after this thing because I gotta get my food. Your boy's hungry, so. And we're going live on UNCUT. So everything that I'm saying right now is go straight to the podcast.
You got it. We're good. We're good.
Yeah. So also, there's gonna be a lot of venting. I know you're a woman of God, so be prepared for a lot of motherfuckers and shit in this conversation because I'm venting after March 17th because you don't even know the shit that I've been going through in Massachusetts.
I'm ready. Bring it.
So tell your people, viewer discretion is advised.
Right.
All right, check it out. It's your boy Cuban Mic. Listen to the Ruckus podcast in combination with the Tape Deck 102.9. I don't even know if 102.9 is going to air this episode tonight because it's going to be a little crazy. But tonight, I got a cool gal in the building. She was able to bless my podcast last year, give us a lot of thought-provoking thoughts. You know, she talked about, Cuba, just the way she thinks about the world. I think she might be, if Hollywood comes knocking on your door, I think you could be the first person if you get a crew, or you could do it by yourself. You could probably take out The View, because I think that's going to be our mission, take out The View and get them out of business. But, every time she posts something on Instagram, I always make it a thing to repost it because the things that she talks about, especially when it comes to Cuba, it's just like not only real, but it's very relatable. So I always said between you and Grecia, with all the things that I've been posting with y'all, look, I already told Gracia when Hollywood comes knocking on her door, I want a coffee mug. Or I'm not gonna be her flunky, but I either want a coffee mug or a poster or something. If you make it out of Hollywood, I want a t-shirt, but if not a t-shirt, I want a Cuban sandwich. I want something out of this, all right? I'm doing that a lot, but I come for cheap, so I don't even ask for much. Like a Cuban sandwich and a bag of Skittles, I'm a happy guy. But ladies and gentlemen, I got Day, aka Spanglish Generation, the building. What's going on, homie?
Yo, what is up? The Cuban Mic. Yo, okay, let's go. Yes. Thank you for having me.
No, pleasure. Okay, first and foremost, I've been asking every Cuban because here's the thing. I do the radio show, the tape deck. And the last couple of weeks I was able to have it funky on my show. Orlando Gutierrez, the professor, the doctor, and the rapper out there. So I always ask every Cuban. I'm trying to make it a thing now. Last time we talked about July 11. What has been where has been your view? How's your mental case, like your mental and everything since like March 17th?
Well, you know what? July 11th was such a shocker because it had never happened before. Most of us were waiting for July 17th. We didn't know when it was going to happen, but for March 17th.
Yeah.
We were waiting for it. So at some point we knew it was going to happen. We didn't know when it actually did happen. It didn't happen to the same scale, but it happened. And we were like, okay, this is the start. Like, this is actually the start. Because July 11th was, yeah, you could say that's the start, but we were all like, oh my gosh, but then a lot of people kind of lost hope. They deflated. But a lot of us, others, we were like, yes, this is going to happen. You just watch, wait, it's going to happen. They're going to gain momentum. It's going to happen again. And it happened again. And so I'm thinking this is really the start because people are starting to realize that this is the only way. And I believe it just reaffirms that Cubans on the island, inside Cuba, they are really coming to the realization that this is on them. This is really on them. It really depends on them and what they're willing to do to get what they need to get, which is freedom. So it's hard, but at the same time, I'm like, man, they're getting it. They're getting it. Mm-hmm. It's finally gaining momentum.
Now, where were you when you saw this happening?
Home. This was a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was home. And I started, people started sending me stuff and I was home on July 17th. I believe it was a weekend as well. It started on a weekend as well.
Sunday. I remember because as a matter of fact, guess where I was when that happened? Just take a while, guess where I was when this happened? Miami.
Yeah, you were the summer, right? Yeah, that's true. Last year.
Yeah. When it happened with July 11th, I was in Florida, as a matter of fact, and I saw it, and I was tempted to go to Miami, but I decided to wait this out. But the dope thing about it, when I saw that, it was all over the news. So it was on channel. All your local news was actually promoting this thing because up north they ain't showing none of that stuff out here.
Right.
So it was dope because I'm like, oh, you guys are really about it. So I called my mom. My mom, she's staying to what everything that's going on, and I called my dad. He's staying to what's going on. So it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was working when that happened, and when that happened, I was working, and then all of a sudden I had a whole bunch of inbox, and yo, they're out on the street, they're on the streets, and I'm seeing like all the clips, I'm seeing all the videos. I called my mom, and it's one of those things like we get happy. I was happy, but I was trying my hardest not to be like overly happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this is gonna be the time it's gonna happen. I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna be that happy, but I'm happy to the point that the message is getting through. And
Absolutely.
when I saw like all the graffiti saying Patria Via and the Singao and all the other stuff, was sending a message. So
yeah, absolutely.
that was a beautiful thing. One of the things I want to get this out the way because one of the things that have been really bugging me, I've been having a problem with I like to call them the Cuban fence hoppers, and you post a video, and it involve the singer Sadie La Nina, wasn't Sadie the singer,
Right.
and you post something, and it was like, yo, finally, because there's things that I want to say, and I know I'm crazy enough to do it, but sometimes I try to be reserved because out here in Massachusetts, I feel like I'm the lonely wolf band that I don't feel that nobody can relate to me because there's not too many of us over here. So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a certain way about this because I post a message on your Instagram, and she's been known to be like the ultimate fence hopper. I remember last year vividly when the baseball game when it was School Wild versus the States, and they had a thing on her, and she's like, I'm not choosing a side. I'm just here to enjoy the game and enjoy the momentum. I'm just hoping that Cuban searches whatever. And for whatever reason, that didn't sit well with me. That didn't sit with me because, unfortunately, when it comes to us and our struggle, you have to go to the extreme. You're either all in and say what it is or just keep your mouth shut. And unfortunately, they're trying to have the luxury that the people in the United States have. Us in the States, if you're a celebrity, an actor, you have the option to be like, you know what? I don't want to talk about politics. I just want to focus on my music, my career, etc. This country gives you the luxury to do that. Cuba doesn't give you the luxury. If you're an actor, a basketball player, whatever it may be, they're forced you to speak on, what it is. You're forced to say, I love the revolution. You're forced to say, I love whatever the system's giving me. You're forced to do that. So you just can't over here. You just can't come over here and thinking you're just gonna get away to just make your money and be under the radar. And the thing about it is scary because those are the same people that stay under the radar, but then it takes the trips to Cuba, you know what I mean? Acting like, I'm here just to see my family, but most of it they did to show off because unfortunately, us Cubans, we have that thing with us that we like to show off to our family. Look what I got. Look at my watch. Look at the car that I'm driving. And when they come around, quote unquote, helping the people, they're looking at it like, like I'm your savior. So here's some loose dollars you need to like, what I'm saying, to be grateful to what I'm giving you.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes you feel good about yourself.
For 24 seconds.
For 24 seconds. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I don't know much about Sadie La Nina other than, what I've seen online, like not on purpose, because I don't consume her content. But she does come up, up on TikTok and Instagram from time to time. Some people share stuff with me, but it's not even about her personally. It's just a mentality that certain people have that they don't have to choose a side. And like you said, when it comes to Cuba, you kind of have to, or just remain completely silent about things. Because if you're going to speak up, and once you speak up, you're going to take a neutral approach, you're gonna lose people along the way. Because quite honestly, you can't be neutral about the situation in Cuba. There are moments in which you cannot be neutral, because if you are, you're misleading people and you're actually placing the situation and people in danger, like literally, because people that follow you in Cuba, on the island, they see you, and if you are a known person you're popular, you're an influencer, you're a Cuban artist that people like, they will take your word and they will take, Cuba's very, how it works on the island. They don't have much information. The information that they do have, they take to heart. The people that they follow for real. I'm not saying that people outside of Cuba don't, but people within Cuba become attached to certain things more so than people outside of Cuba. I think that's because of the circumstance. And I think that sometimes when these celebrities, these artists, they take certain approaches, the people in Cuba kind of buy into these ideas, and it sends them down a different path that actually affects their reality. Because it's not like here you follow a celebrity and yada yada yada, but Beyonce, whatever she does, whatever J-Lo does, whatever anyone does, it doesn't really impact my personal life as much as the Cuban people, because their reality is completely different. And when they follow Cuban celebrities, that especially the ones outside of Cuba, it impacts a lot of their daily lives. So I think it's just extra, you have to be extra careful. And if you're going to speak on it, then I think it should be with a clear, how would I say that? With a clear position. Like that, you make your position clear. If not, just don't speak on it at all. Stick to doing your art, stick to reaching the masses, stick to singing, dancing, drawing, drama, whatever it is that you do. And stay away from the political side, because it just becomes messy and irresponsible, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. And not only the fence hoppers, I'm also have a problem. Now, this is gonna be a meat thing. If you want to jump in on this, you could
Do it.
All right. The funny about it, I follow these people too, because sometimes they have great. I ain't gonna say what I'm looking for here. Sometimes I feel as though when it comes to Cuba, they're on the money, but then they'll just say something that'll take like 5 steps back and be like, all right, what the fuck was this about? Two people I have in mind, and if they hear me right now, watching me, I would love to have them on my show. We had conversations behind the scenes, but because I said after March 17th, the gloves is off, because I don't care, man, woman, and child, you supporting the dictatorship, I'm cussing you the fuck out. I don't care anymore. I don't know, do you follow these kids called Cuba Palante?
No.
These
Do
kids, I don't know, I don't know if that's gonna be
No, I'm like, do I? No, I don't. No, I don't recognize that name.
So, do you follow the girl Mima, right? The blonde haired girl, tall, that had the story about her boyfriend she brought to Cuba, bald headed dude. They went viral.
Mima in Cuba, yeah, Mima.
Yeah. So I've had conversations with them behind the scenes. I'm trying to have on my show.
That's Mari.
Yeah. So
Mari and Joel.
Yeah, and she has good content. Some of the things that she does is questionable. Same thing with the Palante kids. But with those two, do you remember the whole debacle with the whole book that came out, Cuban Privilege?
Yeah.
The girl from Yeah, when that came out, particularly those two, they had something to say, and it wasn't really the most encouraging thing if you go back to it. But I remember vividly, they said some things about pretty much agreeing to what she was saying.
Okay.
In regards, and I think you made a video on that.
I did.
Yeah, and me, I got like a real sketchy history, which I would love to talk to her about it sometime in the future. I mean, that's neither here or there, because like I spoke to, you have good content, but some of the stuff you do is questionable. I haven't said that part yet, but when it comes to it, I'll get there. But I don't know, because you said something, it was like, I don't know if it was like the last video or the video prior to that, things about being a quote unquote coincidence. Right. And I had the professor, I'm talking on the circle, I'm bringing on full circle. I had the professor on Decibel Kick, I don't know if you follow him, but I always had this thing about my mother, and people like the elder statesmen, they always tend to be either paranoid or they have a conspiracy thing or whatever. Right. And like, yeah, you know what? We are paranoid, thanks to communism. We are paranoid and we are big conspiracy theories. But you know what? We barely miss. We barely miss. We're out of money. And I'm like, all right, and I'm like, you know what? If it comes to, I think my mom, I keep out that generation there, I would work, they're probably 95, 97% right on the money. So these people that I follow, they'll say all these other things like free Cuba, but then they'll have like this undertone like agenda. So they'll say free Cuba, and then the bottom will say hashtag trans lives matter, or free Cuba, and then under it free Palestine, free Cuba, we must do something about rent control, free Cuba, we must get rid of this. Like, you know, like I feel like they're using us to push another agenda.
Yeah, bueno, estar con Dios y con el diablo.
Yeah.
I think that it's very common, and a lot of times it's just people don't bother to find the information, even if it, you know, even if the information is brought to them, they're not there for it. They overlook the information. They're just interested. They fall for the hype of a hashtag. You know, they jump on that bandwagon. I think that's most people. I know that there are people that, and we see it all the time, that jump on the Cuban. We've seen it with the Cuban celebrities that have jumped on the Patria Vida bandwagon just to benefit their, you know, their views and to kind of cling, you know, to a different audience that they didn't have before, and they were following a completely different path, politically, socially, you know, ideologically. And so, yeah, I mean, you will see that, and I think that we are seeing a lot, especially, well, I was talking about that in my last video about the protests. You see a lot of people free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, and within these protests, you see the same people saying free Palestine. They're saying we are the communist or socialist party of so-and-so, of Arizona, of wherever, and we're here supporting the Palestinians. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that you are here saying free Palestine, as are many people from Cuba, from, you know, that are, let's say, I don't want to say conservative leaning, but I'm saying they're more on the right wing side of things. And they're saying, yes, it's a shame that, you know, innocent civilians are killed. We know that it's a shame on either side. Why should it only be a shame on the Gaza side? It's a shame on the Israeli side as well. Oh, because it's many more. Well, if you listen, this is, and I'm sidetracking a little bit here, but when you have a short guy and a tall guy, right? And you see the short guy instigating the tall guy, that's perceived as, oh, he's so brave. Oh, he don't care, you know. He doesn't care. He's going for him. He doesn't care that this guy's he's doing it. Well, no, but the minute that the big guy, the big bulky guy turns around and smacks him right back and punches him the hell out, knocks him out, then the big guy, oh my gosh, what a bully, abusing, excessive power, you know, excessive use of force. Why? Because este chiquitico le estaba dando al otro constantemente, no logra nada because you're too small, you know, you're small, eres un flaco, eres chiquito, and you come here against the freaking rock. He knocks you out, and suddenly the rock es malo. Well, you know what? Gaza and Israel es lo mismo, kinda. Like Gaza no tiene the military powerhouse que es Israel. So if you go against someone like Israel and they say, we've had enough, we're going for you, we're going to warn, look, we warn you, leave because we're coming for you. The innocent civilians, leave now. They were warned, leave now because we're going to retaliate. Now, of course, ahora Israel es el malo, pero you pick the fight with someone you know. You know Israel is a military powerhouse. You know what they have. You know their weapons. You know their strategy. They don't play, bro. They don't play. These people are ready to not be abused ever again, to not be put through a Holocaust ever again. So they're ready to go for it.
They got big homie, which is the state. Big homie, but like, all right, you want to look who I got behind me if you want the smoke, which I get.
So I mean. So that's what I know, and I know a lot of people are like, yeah, it's such a shame, it's such a shame, it's such a shame, and so they're like, free Palestine, and I'm like, are you sure free Palestine? Because you know, when you're saying free Palestine, first of all, analyze, do you know what that means, free Palestine? Are you aware what that means? Are you convinced of what that means? Free Palestine from who? From what? And how? Like, how is your hashtag gonna free Palestine? Because I kind of have an idea of how free Cuba helps to promote, spread awareness about freeing Cuba. But are you aware how Free Palestine is going to help? Your hashtag, how that's going to help? What type of awareness are you raising? Do you have that clear? That's, some of my questions to these people. And also, you are also spreading the message that aligns with those people that are in the Socialist Communist Party, and you don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? These people don't want to see that this Free Palestine movement is being promoted by extreme leftists, Marxists, people on this far side, and they have you here entertained with innocent lives or 936,000 dead people. That's what a shame, what a shame, what a shame. We should all feel bad. And yes, we should. But at the same time, we shouldn't be blind to the fact that Hamas has broken every ceasefire agreement. And Israel has had enough and said, look, we're going. And there's no denying that Hamas has innocent people as shields. Mm-hmm. They don't let their people escape because they want the body count to go up. They want it. They need it to be the victims in this thing, to continue to victimize and to continue to manipulate the world. And so a lot of Cubans jumping on this bandwagon, and like you were saying, using one hashtag, one movement to push an agenda. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. So that was the thing. And they always move funny style. Like I said, the day, I mean, if they watch this thing, because I will put some of the clips online, if they do watch it, whatever, I'm waiting to have a conversation or whatever the case may be. I don't really try to touch that topic a lot because I know people from both sides. And I got a friend of mine who's from Palestine, and to his defense, when it came to the situation with Cuba, he's been having my back 100%. He's like, yo, you got to be going through this, you're going through that. So on a humanized level, and then I try to have conversations about Palestine or whatever, like he went through it, like his family went through it for whatever the situation it is. So unfortunately, even though you got this government going at it, like the people are suffering from it in the end.
Of course.
That's the part that sucks. And I got a friend of mine right now is in Israel. I haven't spoken to him in years, but he went over there and I spoke to people that know him. And he's good. Like the part he's at is not as crazy as to make it out to be, but he might get that call that he might have to like go to war, whatever the case may be. So
to get drafted.
That's going on right now. Yeah. So I mean, why I stand with it, like I just like any rational human being, I want peace on both sides. But the issue is they don't, the peace that is not gonna happen because both sides want the smoke. And unfortunately, love it or hate it, Israel has the upper hand. They already went to war like 5 times, and Israel got them in all of them. Even when they got ganged up on them, they got them. They're well organized when it comes to this war tactic. So not only that, one of the things when I see the videos, I see these clips about the Free Palestine, it's a variation of a lot of things. You do have people that don't really know what the hell's going on, so they just jump in the bandwagon because it's very trendy. That's a problem with itself.
That's a majority.
Yeah. And then you actually have people on both sides. You know, Israel is very little, and a shame they don't show that part, because I wish like the media and even social media would show there's actually people from Palestine and Israel actually united, saying, "Yo, we want the shit to stop," and don't make it a left versus right thing, East Coast, West Coast thing, whatever.
Right.
There are people that are being rational. So then you have people that they're taking the movement and it kind of co-opted and, like you said, turn into something that we don't even know what that is no more. So when you free Palestine, what are you doing? You're supporting Hamas. When you say free Palestine, what are you saying? Like, you know, we don't want us to like send weapons and let Israel handle it. And if Israel handle it, either or, they're still going to win. What do you mean when you're saying ceasefire? Or you just saying ceasefire because you're hoping for a miracle that Hamas won't take this, which unfortunately they won't. So it's a lot of different dynamics going on right there. I was watching the news yesterday, and I made the mistake of falling asleep like at 1 o'clock in the morning. I got just tuned in on the news, and I was watching you know, the protests going on in New York and the College Columbia. And they right now, I don't know if you've seen it recently, that school right now, it is destroyed. Like all the libraries, the homerooms, the classroom, that is just like right now.
So sad.
So
sad.
To answer that question, what are your thoughts on these protests here, Dave? What are your thoughts on this protest? What are your thoughts on these magnificent protests?
On these college protests? Look, Mike, look, I'm concerned that these are the people that will be the future politicians and the future leaders of the United States and the world. Because a lot of these kids have no clue what's going on. They don't have no clue where Israel is, who Palestinians are. They just found out that they wear some sort of garment, and so everybody, they don't even know, they have no clue. I'm concerned because these kids are just, and it's okay in a sense to be young and be wanting to be part of something bigger and wanting to, and seeing that something's happening and wanting to be part of it and cause change and be, an agent of like a change in the world. I get it. I was 20 once. However, there is no reason for the disrespect that they're showing at these universities, the vandalizing, breaking glass, breaking doors, breaking chairs, tables, not allowing Jewish students to enter buildings or parts of the campus. What is that? What is going on? Like, what is your purpose? How does that help to free Palestine? You're just enforcing the narrative that Palestine is intolerant and will not engage in any type of amicable discussion with the Israelis. That's what they're enforcing by standing there with their face masks and not allowing a Jewish student to get through to a campus where he pays to go. Now, they're also demanding that these universities cut ties with the Jewish contributors, etc. Mike, do you know how many Jewish people donate? You know the money that these people put into these universities?
Listen, I'm from Mass at
I
Harvard.
want to see the Jewish cut ties with these universities. I want to see it happen.
MIT, look, I'm near Harvard and MIT. Enough said. And forget about the Berkeley Musical School, UMass, Boston, BU. I know they throw that bag in. So it's like right now they're like, try me. And I'm
gonna why?
Go ahead.
Sorry. You know why though? Because education is so big for them. The reason why Jewish people are so like close knit and they advance in the way that they do as a community is because they invest in education from the minute the kids are young. Their education is literally paramount for the Jewish culture. Like you see it, they educate their children in the culture, in the religion, like in their community ways. Like it's very important to them. And the Jewish community invests millions of dollars. They invest millions of dollars of resources in these universities. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you are there thanks to a lot of these people that have facilitated and paved the way for you to be there. And they're asking the universities to cut ties. If that actually were to happen, I know a lot of these universities would be in trouble. A lot of these are in trouble. And I just think it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And again, I keep saying it's election year. A lot of these protests are not orchestrated by these students. They're orchestrated by groups that need this to happen because they need turmoil. It's 2020 repeating itself. I just hope we don't get a George Floyd along the way, that somebody, breaks some glass bottle on somebody's head, they die, and then suddenly we have another, BLM, because this is very close to what was happening in 2020 with BLM. We're seeing it all over again. We're seeing the groups instigating, taking people. A lot of these kids don't even know. They're like, no, we were brought here from other schools because they told us that the students needed, support. They don't even know what they're doing there. So it's like kind of like an intention to build a mass of people who are not happy with the system. They want that to be visible and at a large scale. And obviously, if we were to have something, God forbid, like similar to George Floyd, this would take that. I believe that the media, that's what the media would utilize to just take this out of proportion, and our country would be even more divided than it is now. So I just hope and pray that these protests don't turn to be so violent that we have, loss of somebody, and then this will take a different turn.
And I just saw on the news today, now that you mentioned the word coincidence, that Biden just gave a silence to like a couple of thousands of Palestinians. Probably give or take like 10, I don't know, it was like 10, 20,000, but he gave a good amount.
I don't know the amount, but I was reading on that.
Yeah, which is crazy. Because, you know, I mean, no, not everybody thinks alike, but, you know, if you got a crew say, you know, death to America, and we already seen what happened, the results of 9/11, and I mean, I live in Boston, so, you know, we had the whole thing with the Boston bombing, and then the thing in Detroit when the shoe bomber, when he was trying to explode the whole plane, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna resort to this again?
Right.
So
Right.
it's so freaking insane.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot to digest. You know, I don't want to call these kids useful idiots, but these useful idiots are something special. And it's so insane because I just got to like a panel last week and I was like, oh, hold up. I think it's my food. Bear with me.
You got it.
Hello? Oh, okay, no minuto. Okay, bad. Oh, what? Un minuto. Pause.
Go.
All right.
Got it?
Got it. Hold on. One second. All right. Back. So, like I was saying, I don't want to call these kids useful idiots, but these useful idiots sometimes don't even know what the hell they're getting involved with. Like I was reading somewhere that some of these kids actually decided to join the Muslim religion,
Yeah.
which was
Absolutely.
like ridiculous. Which I mean, I hate to use race on this, but a good portion were white kids, and I'm like, oh, you have no idea what you're getting in store for, my friend. No freaking idea.
Just like I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Um, you know, I have a stepdaughter, and you know, she's done the Free Palestine tip, which I get because she's part of that youth and generation. And I get it because some of these kids, they are coming from a place of compassion, but at the same time, they know the full story. So I get that also. So it's like you gotta like really educate them and put it on perspective. One of the things I do find funny is when I see people from the gay community saying like, you know, I don't know if you see them, the queers for Palestine,
Yeah,
gays for Palestine. I'm like, yo, they hate you. They don't even like
who's
you.
gonna tell them?
Who's
Do
gonna
they
tell
don't
them?
know, do they? They don't know, do they, honey? Oh.
They're like, okay, now you just want to be a part of something just to cause wreaking havoc. Now you don't even know how you get in store for it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's insane because like, you know, I've worked with kids, you know what I mean? So I don't want to underestimate the youth because I do see some potential. Just unfortunately, you got a few little idiots that just want to do whatever the case may be. So I know a good portion of them are rational human beings, but it's like the loud ones are the ones that's making the most noise. So I mean, I think I saw, was it your storyline I saw? There was like a group of kids that were like protecting the flag at a college campus. Yeah, so they're still
That gives you, those things give you hope. You know?
It's just the people being loud and obnoxious. I've seen recently on your videos now that you've been after Good Friday, you've been posting a lot of like spiritual, religious stuff. You know, I'm trying to get you know, right after my grandfather passed away, I'm trying to really get closer with God and try to be more spiritual in that department. So I think you told me last year your father was a priest. Was he a priest or
Pastor.
or a pastor? So did he
Hmm.
have like a major influence on being, you know, close to the Jesus in that perspective?
Yeah, he had everything to do with it. Absolutely. I think that we need more spirituality in general, and I used to post more things, then I kind of put it on the back burner for a bit, and then I started again. There, my spiritual content has been there all the time, but I just don't I don't post it as often, but now I'm reconsidering. We need more of that because we're living in a world where we just need to escape mentally from time to time. We need to believe in something. You see it with these kids, like you said, joining the Muslim religion. Some of them don't even know. They're just coming to this now and they're like, okay, fine, let's do it. And they do it for the wrong reasons, but they still do it. And because they need to believe, like as human beings, for the most part, we need some sense of belonging to something greater. And I think that it's important that we channel that the proper way and find our spiritual side, become in tune with it. Because in my case, it's just healthy. And yes, my dad, if it wasn't for the way that I was raised, of course, I probably would have been a different person. But it is the way I was raised. I was raised in a pastor's home, and not every pastor's kid is spiritual or ends up being religious or Christian or anything.
Yeah.
But in my case, that's the way it turned out, and I'm happy it turned out that way because it's been a refuge for me. It's been my center when everything goes crazy, and everything does go crazy.
It also keeps your sanity. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And which leads me to my other thing. Have you realized what I so I'll tell you the situation I've been going through ever since pre-March 17. I did a live thing with a communist. I know him. He was a real pain in the ass. Um, I didn't want to do it. I kind of like backed out at the final minute, but I had a conversation with one of my elder statesmen. He hates when I call him that because he doesn't want to feel old. But one of my elder statesmen, he's like, you know what? Communists are idiots. So one of the things communists like to do, they like to hear themselves talk. Let them rant. Let them rant or let them go off on what they want to see, and whatever he wants to rant on, you just kill him with the truth. And we had like a 2 hour thing. I took clips. It was a shit show, but because I didn't want to be combative. I didn't want to debate him. I just want to like, hopefully teach him a couple of things of why I feel the way that I do. I was trying to see if I could help him have a
And
come to come to Jesus moment to see, okay, maybe this is why he feels this way. So maybe I'll try to have an understanding. That was an epic failure. But I put certain clips on my TikTok, and after I put certain clips on my TikTok, I had like a whole comedy crew coming after me on TikTok, and they're like, yo, he did that all wrong. You need to talk like a real communist like me. So, if you come and have a live with me and have this debate, I can see what communists is real like. And like communist people are some interesting fuckers. I would say that for a fact, because as much as they try to be the people that fight the good fight, they kind of remind me of like white supremacists. Like the people they try to combat, they remind me of white supremacists.
yeah,
And I have a saying now, and I'm always gonna say it all the time. They're kind of like the same. The difference between a white supremacist and a communist, a white supremacy has an ignorance that holds some sort of weird integrity. By that I mean this. You deal with a racist white person, here's their thought process. I'm white, I'm better than you because I'm white. I'm gonna call you the N-word, I'm gonna call you a spick, I'm gonna do whatever I can because of your race, I'm better than you. So yeah. A communist, there's an arrogance where they're ignorant. So it's like, yeah, you might went through a little oppression or whatever, but it's not really the system's fault. It's really America. You might go through a little thing, but look at the bright side. You get free healthcare, you get free education. Yeah, you may go through a little situation. They like dismiss whatever struggle you go through when you go through that system. And I'm like, you fucking
everything.
morons.
No, it's true. It's willful ignorance, and they just want to be. It's just they marry the idea, and they don't want to hear anything else. Their idea is that's why I tell them you really it's disrespectful for you to tell me about my country where I was born, my birthplace, You've never been there. You've only read a couple things, a couple
Thank you.
pamphlets, and you tell me about my birthplace and how it's supposed to be there and how it's better than what, no, like it's disrespectful. And that's where I say they have a supremacist, like a thing to them, because quite honestly, I've gotten really attacked in the last few posts that I posted done about the embargo, you know, and they come out of under the rocks like crabs, like to attack. Oh, you're so mad because Fidel took your slaves. Honey, what slaves? Like there were no slaves in Cuba. And you tell them that, you know, you tell them the facts. Slavery in Cuba was abolished in the 1800s. Well, you know, slavery in the sense of no sense. There were no slaves in Cuba. There were no plantations, as you claim. You ask them, show me the plantations. Where, which are they? Which are they? There were no plantations. There hadn't been plantations for decades, hundreds of years. And so when you tell them that, they just get mad and say, well, because capitalism oppresses you. Oh, well, that's different. That's your perception of slavery. But you're saying that my family had slaves in Cuba because we owned a plantation. There were plantations, there were slaves. Stop trying to interpret things. Oh, because Batista, you don't know. So it's like they just go on these things and, like you said, just combat everything with another thing they suppose and an interpretation in their mind.
And this is why, I mean, I fell for it for 3 times. That I've been to 3 situations where I went to this thing that I was trying to see if I could have like a come to Jesus moment with them, because I gotta give them credit. They kind of come to you. They don't come to you like aggressive or like, you know, they come to you like really like a friend. Like we're having a conversation. And like, let me tell you why you should be involved with communism, because you know you get a fair share of the piece of the pie, and you know after you get a piece of the pie, you get to share the pie with your family. And with the family, you know you get to put it in the fridge, and after you get the fridge, you take it out, put it in the pie. It's just let me talk about this communist pie. They talk really nice to you, but the second they hear something that you can't agree with, or the second that you combat everything they say, they turn to like 10-foot tall, like the abominable snowman. Like they really want to be combative and defend the system. And I found out is a pattern. It's a pattern with them. A lot of these people, when you try to get to meet them on a personal level, it's like a weird trauma that's wrong with them. Like either a family issue, whatever they did in life was mediocre, they sucked at life, their marriage was a failure. A lot of them, believe it or not, they're lost spiritually, so they don't believe in God, don't believe in Jesus. They just want to be on whatever they get, like atheists to the nth degree. So that's when all that degeneracy comes. I got into a debate with this dude, and he's telling me like he was being really combative about communism, and now because they're on this bullshit, like now he gotta have a pronoun. So now this motherfucker was like a day or whatever the fuck to be. So he like whoever was doing the monitoring, whoever was the hostess or whatever monitoring the whole shit. He was like, we got 2 men, I need you 2 guys, men, to like, just tone down your work. And they got real aggressive. And the guy come out like, I'm not a man. Like the dude had a deeper voice than me, telling me he's not a man. He's standing up, telling me he's not a man. But this shit is like I'm a whatever now. And whatever I am, you gotta take that and accept it. Like you fucking fuck.
You called me sir, and it's ma'am. Okay.
No, not even. No, you're talking sir. I'm a thing. You don't even call me. I'm not a man. I'm just whatever you call me.
Right. I'm a thing.
I am what I am. Yeah. I am what I am, and that's all what I am at the moment. Tomorrow will be another thing, but right now I'm I'm a yen. And I'm like, yo.
What
I'm
kind
like,
of?
And it's like, these guys, it's funny too, because now, I don't know, do you used to watch 11 Color back in the day?
For sure.
You remember you remember the character Damon Wayans played, Oswald Bates? He was the jail dude. The jail dude, the Muslim.
Yeah.
They're all talking like that. They tell me all these big words. They'll hit me like a 7-syllable word that means nothing within the conversation, and they think they're saying something mad profound.
For sure, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like Kamala Harris.
In what sense?
She just goes with her words, word after word after word after word soup.
Yeah.
Word soup, like alphabet soup. She just goes and then she makes another, and at the end it's just like, okay.
And the keywords, and then like now I know what the hell they're gonna say, so I have to look for these keywords. Deconstruct, reconstruct, imperialism, colonialism, and dismantle. Those are the 5 keywords the communists use on you to try to sound like they're saying something important. So we got to reconstruct, we got to deconstruct, we got to find a constructive workers to construct communism in the United States of America. Then we got to dismantle the system, and then like dismantle imperialism and colonialism. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up. You can't even dismantle fucking TikTok. TikTok got you on your best behavior. Y'all can't even say certain words because y'all shook.
It's a crazy world out there.
It's insane.
It's a crazy world out there.
It's fucking insane. And I had it was funny too because you put a post up. It was so funny because Mima had us said something on her live like a couple of weeks ago, and it was like something to like the effect of reality TV show, something if he could have all these socialist and communist people to go to like an actual socialist company, like a reality TV show.
Yes.
Pay them. I'm like, yo, I will fund this. I will fund this in 4 seconds.
Of course.
I will fund this in 4 seconds and watch this failure go through them.
Bro, you know what? They don't know. They don't know. And sometimes deep inside of me, I don't even want to say this out loud, but deep inside of me, from time to time, I kind of not want to give up, but I just kind of say, damn it, I wish for a minute that their wish came through, like true, so they could experience. And then let's see what they're gonna do. What are you gonna do? Because quite honestly, but then I don't wish that on the United States of America. But a lot of these people, you know what they need to live, what they want to live, like what they say they want to live. They need to live through a socialist system to actually understand that it does not work. It does not work. It really doesn't.
But the best way, the thing about it, like I had this conversation when I got into the second communist debacle, because they tricked me. I swear to God, they tricked me. Like there was this dude that followed me on TikTok. He's like, yo, we would like you to join this debate that's going on, a conversation. And I was like, just, chilling, minding my business in these TikTok streets, looking at my videos and what the case may be. So this thing comes in, I joined the conversation, and the topic was this: communists. Why is it a good thing? And are we ready for it in the United States of America? I'm like, what the fuck? My man. And they were like, I was cornered. I was cornered with freaking 7 or 8 commies.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And
no.
I was able to like hold my own, but it was like I had to like laugh this thing because they're like, yo, I had one of the guys in the group who it was so weird. Like he voted for Trump in 2020. Then I don't know what the hell happened. He went totally to the left. Now he became a socialist. It happens. It's so weird because then, like, even in one of the conversations, there was this dude who was like a capitalist, and then he became anti-capitalist. But like I said, there's a pattern there. There's something in between that must have happened. And be like, you know what? I don't believe this anymore. Something happened. They won't tell me the story. I really don't care about the story. But every time I see somebody going to that extreme, either Democrat or Republican, because I know people that went Republican and then went Democrat and Republicans. That's the way the country works, because whatever belief they have in the moment, that they went with it. But once you go to like one extreme right and then go to one extreme left, and like, nah, but something in between that is wrong in the head. So this dude was talking about he went for Trump, became a socialist, and it's so weird because he started saying he was a socialist, but I don't think he's that much of a socialist the way he was making it out to be. I think he's a person that wants to be born for the community and help out his own, because he keeps saying, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that, but want to have like the government not involved with me helping my community. And I'm like, well, to me, that's not like community service.
Yeah, do that. Just do it. No one's stopping you.
No one's stopping you. Just go help your people if you want to do that. But then he kind of like messed me up in the end because he's from like Illinois. So then he's like, yeah, Illinois is going to be the first socialist state that's going to break out from the United States of America. I'm like, whatever. He's back. He's back on his bullshit. And it's like,
yeah. I think that, capitalism isn't perfect. A lot of people that hear me speak and hear people like you speak, they think that that we ride so hard for capitalism because, listen, capitalism is not perfect, but and the U.S. is not necessarily a completely capitalist country. Like if we do have a capitalist economy, where somebody once said to me that the U.S. may have the truest form of capitalism, the closest form of capitalism, but not there completely. It isn't a perfect system, but it is a system which allows you to have at least some control, or feel like you have some control of your future and your finances and your dealings. In socialism, you just don't. You really just don't. And I'd rather take my chances in a system that maybe it's harder to navigate on my own, but I can navigate on my own. It's manageable. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Socialism, it surprises me, the people that support socialism, because I'm like, really? You really believe deep in your heart, you are convinced that the government, that other people, you trust other people to do things for you, to manage things for you, to manage your money for you? Like, you really do trust people that much? Like, are you that much of a humanist? Do you believe so much in human, kindness, that you think that putting all your trust in the government is going to solve any issues? Like, it's naive. It's naive. And to me, it's just, again, willfully ignorant. But I'd rather take my chances in capitalism. It's hard as hell.
It's hard.
It's
like,
hard.
But think about it, it's like,
But I'll
okay,
take it.
and that's a great point about it, because here's the thing also. When they speak about the flaws of capitalism, and even the history of America, what they did, the Indian slavery, and like, okay, I have no problem condemning America's history. It has a very nasty history. I don't have a problem condemning the corruption. If you want me to condemn it, no problem. But the issue I have with y'all, you think because you want me to condemn it and switch this to a system that you think is going to work, it's going to be the answer to your problems? No, you're adding a problem and adding a new problem that you're not prepared for, and your arrogance is getting you in your way to like understand those problems. So that's the part they don't even want to get. It's like, you're gonna go through things in life, no matter what is the system, your family, but don't expect this system to like save you. They're looking for somebody to save them. And the thing that messes me up, the thing that gets me annoyed when I have to deal with fucking black communism, these fucking annoying fake ass revolutionary fools, they talk about how this country, this system is racist, this and the third. So they figure, and the reason why it's racist and you don't get ahead is because of capitalism. So I'm like, okay, my man, let me get this right. So capitalism is the reason why all this shit exists. You need to tell me with communism, you're gonna get what you want. They're like, yeah. So let me get this right. In the snap of a finger, all this racism gonna end, and you're gonna have the shared piece of the pie. You're gonna get that. You know what I mean? With these white politicians in office, you're not just gonna get rid of them. Let me tell you that for a fact. You're not gonna get rid of them, and they're not just leaving voluntarily. So what people are you looking for to like, get you out the way? Well, we the people are going to, you the people ain't gonna do a damn thing. You're gonna bitch and moan, probably do a little protest, break a couple of things, and gonna be the same way that it is. You're not gonna do a damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it's so weird too, because I had a conversation with this dude in the same thing, and he went to Italy, so he felt when he was in Italy, it was like a sense of socialism that he thought was like a socialist utopia for him. And I'm like, but you're back. You came to, regardless of what happened, you came back. That came from my family. Oh, you still came back. What's the purpose? And it's the same fucking answer. Well, I came here because I want to dismantle the system. And I'm like, so basically, you're going to do nothing. You're going to do nothing.
Right.
You went there for whatever reason. Was it work purpose? Like, what I was telling someone is this. You didn't go to Italy because you were fleeing a political party. You didn't go there because there was a group of militia people in your house saying you must join this gang, or because you're going to get murdered. You didn't go over there because the poverty of the states got you so messed up you had to go to the country. You went there voluntarily and you came back. You know what's called? American privilege. American privilege.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it's called.
And a weird thing too, like they also give you this thing, like, like they don't give you like no confidence whatsoever. They you believe that you're just worthless. You know what I mean? Even for the few seconds I was there, I like, yo, I could make something out of myself in this country. No, you cannot, because you're a black man in this country, and because you're a black man, you just can't do it. This system had you down. And then I didn't even get into it because I didn't want to get that deep. I'm like, no, I can make something out of myself. And they kept telling me I can't be nothing in this country because of who I am.
It's like, who's the racist here?
Yeah. I'm like, that's a you thing. That's a you thing. Don't get me wrong, because you suck. Because my team of circles, I have successful friends that I know, successful lawyers, doctors, people that own business, teachers, own home. They're good where they at. My team is good. I don't know. Your team must suck. And I think when you personalize it, that's when they also get mad also, because it's like, when you say you can't make it, I made it, my team made it. My mom told me I could make it. My dad told me I could make it. Everybody on my team was rooting for me. Now, if I fail, either my grinding sucked, it's a slim chance. I'm not to say that the system won't put me in a situation where I won't fail, but I won't put it all on the system. And the thing about it, it gives me this system does give me other ways to navigate certain situations. Like, I got accepted to a prestigious school back in college, back when I was in high school. I just couldn't go because I didn't have the money. But I had to find other options to go to a place that does give me a place that's more affordable and help me get the degree that I'm looking for. So where there's a will, there's a way. And if it doesn't, then that's a you thing. And they just get mad when you then believe that you just can't make anything yourself. And they also get mad because they're pissed in this country. They want you to get pissed with them.
Right. Right. They want you to join their pity party.
Yeah. And thank you. That's what it is. It's a pity party. And then even after all the, I left the group because it got, it was just too damn laughable. And then after the 196 countries in the world, after I pretty much proved my point that, all these countries were failures, like, Cuba, China, they were actually being combated, saying that Venezuela's not a communist country, or Nicaragua. And I'm like, word? All right. And then I pretty much had to kill them with the whole thing. Even with the black folks, I was like, you guys really don't have the luxury to speak. I'm going to treat y'all the way y'all treat white folks. You don't have the luxury to speak. All y'all did is read a book and it warmed your communist hearts. You don't have the luxury to speak.
You know what they say?
What?
No, in the end, you know what they say? There has never been a true communist country.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, you read that book. You must have been around them.
That's what they plan to just shut everybody up and say, well, you know what? There's never been a true communist country. And once there is, it will work.
Yeah, of course.
That's how they plan to shut everyone up and be like, oh, okay, well, you're right.
Yeah, no. Whatever. Your mother. Right. How about that? That's my man right now. Your mother. But that's been the weird thing, man. So, question, when is Hollywood gonna knock on your door? Because I'm waiting.
Dude, and I'm not crazy about Hollywood. I used to be when I was younger. I used to be when I was a young girl. I wanted to work as a screenwriter. I wanted to work in film production. But you know what? I'm disillusioned. But honestly, you know what? I would aspire more than Hollywood status, like an independent status that it's equivalent in the sense of to have the same reach, but not linked to the Hollywood persona kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly. I just Hollywood doesn't dazzle me as it used to. But there are opportunities there. And if it came knocking, I will open the door. You know what I'm saying?
You do that.
But you know what I'm saying? That I will take any opportunity I can get if I'm comfortable, of course, and it aligns with where I am in life and my values, etc. But I would like that. Why not? I would like to. There's a path that I think everyone has. There's a mission, and whatever avenue is whatever opportunity is presented to take whichever avenue, I think everyone should be willing to examine and analyze, and give it a chance, at least give it a thought. But yeah, I aspire to have to be able to fulfill my mission. And I think that my mission has a lot to do with my voice and the things that I have to express, not only socially, politically, which I admit that is not my strongest point. My strongest point is spiritual, because it's what I've lived my whole life, what I've been through, the spiritual struggles. And I think that everyone deep inside at one point or another is going to need to cling to something, some sort of a faith. So that's what I think. And I think that as long as I stick to that, I'm okay. If Hollywood doesn't come knocking at my door, that's fine. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And I think that's fulfilling that part of your mission, that should be enough. The rest is just cherry on the icing on the cake.
Okay, I remember you did an episode with Nelson. How's Nelson doing?
I saw him like 2-3 months ago. Yeah, and he was in New York doing stuff, and he's doing his thing. He's got some deals with sponsors I'm seeing. I haven't talked to him recently, but yeah, he looks like he's doing his hustle.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's supposed to do my podcast sometime soon, but he's moving fast right now, so I gotta get him before freaking Joe Rogan knocks on his freaking door. Say I want something to do with you.
I
gotta get him fast. I gotta get him fast while he's cheap. So
I was like, I got that seat reserved in your show
yeah,
as your co-host.
yeah, do something real quick because I have an idea right now. So I'll tell you about it after the thing is over. But no, because I remember you did an episode with him, and I remember there was something that he wanted worked on.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to say it, but it's something revolving like a movie,
like a graphic novel.
Yeah. He wants to do something like that. So I'm like,
it was
hey,
amazing. Like the concept is amazing. Like I really hope. Yeah, I really hope he like whether I'm a part of it or not. I really hope he does it like at some point. Because it's really, I think it would be like a hit.
Yeah, man. So I'm rooting for that, man. But by any chance, if he does make that happen, I hope he gets you as a writer and make something happen. I want to see some magic here.
Could you imagine? And look, look at the Sound of Freedom. Look at productions like that. Like that's not Hollywood, but that's the standard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's Hollywood standard, but not linked to Hollywood. And that's what I would aspire to attain. You know what I'm saying? A certain standard that has the reach and the quality, but not attached to that. Because you know these people.
And I know, like I've seen like bits and pieces of a little situation, which I won't talk about, but I've seen little things. Unfortunately, you're right. 80% of it is all like hype, frivolous, fakeness, perception. None of this is real. None of it. But if he does make that film, I need to get that call because I don't know, your boy did a movie, and the movie was kind of like I was in for a number. Yo, I wanted 2,000. If I got my 2,000, I was a happy man. Because the director wanted 5. I'm like, that's on you. Give me my 2. And I got 2.5. I was happy.
Oh, Lord, just cover my check.
Yeah, I was happy. You know what I mean? I had my Pati Vida show with my director, Let Me Rock. I was good. I sent the message out. Done.
Nice. That's all I need. I really aspire to have an independent production company at some point, like a concept that just produces, and not only my stuff, but that can produce for that can help propel other people, other creative talent.
Call me, right? You gonna hire your boy real quick? Yeah, I got first.
That's in my long. That's the long vision for Spanglish Generation.
Yeah, either or. I want first dibs.
I got you.
No doubt. All right. So before we get out of here, I got a couple of more questions. One of the things I want to talk about to piggyback on the whole Palestine-Israel thing. I wanted to say a story real quick. I had a friend of mine from Jersey, and this is how deep this shit gets. She works. She follows you too. She's a fan of your content. She works at I ain't gonna say what she works at, but she works for these people that are Israel Jewish, or the case may be. And she's cool with the family, and she had the daughter goes to this college in New York, and this is how nasty thing is getting. When she came back or whatever, I think it was winter vacation. She told my friend, "Yo, ever since this thing happened, I don't even have any friends anymore because just off the strength that I'm Jewish." I'm not even from Israel. You're the strength that I'm Jewish. The friends I had last year, they weren't my friend no more.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I have people that have stopped following me and that have stopped being in my life because they have a different belief ideologically, but I don't, like, I have friendships that don't have the same ideological beliefs. It's really hard for me to be friends with a communist, so none of them are communists. But we have different political views. Let's just call it that way, and we get along just fine. And I don't understand this whole thing of dumping people. Especially when it's not even things personally. It's things like happening at such a larger scale that's so distant from the person-to-person relationship. I don't get why people just automatically take a side and dump everybody that kind of, looks like could be on the other side. That's so weird to me. That's
And the
so
weird
weird
thing,
to me.
and the weird thing about it, I guarantee you, the same people that cut her off were the same people like 3 or 4 years ago. They were the same people that try to like quote unquote champion tolerance. So it doesn't matter if you're black, if you're gay, if you're an immigrant, if
Yeah.
you're this, if you're that.
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yeah, yeah, which is that shit get on my nerves. That's for another conversation. That probably be the next
DEI.
episode. That's for another conversation. But it was just so crazy how they were just championing something else a couple of years ago, and now this coming by, and now they becoming that. This is why there's this guy who I follow who he said you give minorities just like an inch of power, and they start acting the fool. Just a little. They don't even got like a full 100. They got like 5% of that power, and they don't even know how to act, which is ridiculous.
Power corrupts. Like really,
Quick,
you want to test someone, you just give them power. You want
it
to
was
see who
just a
someone
snip.
really is. Not even money, just power.
Yeah, and I have somebody who I follow, and I found out she's been following me for a couple of years now. Her story is interesting because she's half Cuban and she's half Lebanese. She's half Lebanese, but she's rocking with the pro-Palestine because she also told me stories that unfortunately the Israel government did a lot of things to our country that were harmful. So, I mean, as much as people want to be like the country Israel has done some shenanigans that their hands are not as completely clean as people make it out to be. Everybody's hands has been dirty. Everybody.
So
and that's the part
so has the United States all the time.
But the thing about it, when we have our hands dirty, it's like we're like notoriously known for having our hands dirty. So it's nothing new. And the funny thing about it, anybody in this world, if you're a political figure, if you want to have power, you're gonna have your hands dirty. I know this country has its hands dirty. What I get annoyed is like, everybody else play like an innocent ambassador. Like, no, I was trying to be safe, and I was trying to do away with my keyboard. And what happened was America got no aim. No, you're just trying to be jerks, just like we're trying to be jerks. You're trying to out jerk each other. No pun intended. I had now I have to bring it another full circle. Jesus. So the girl that's Cuban, half Lebanese, she was like pro-Palestine before it was even popular. So she did a whole bunch of things in college that got her in a whole lot of trouble. And she's like, this is why I'm rocking with it, which, whatever, you gotta respect. It's her opinion, it's her plight. And then she talked about all the things that Israel did to her country. But it got crazy because she didn't want to accept, for whatever reason, that people from Palestine are rocking with Israel. Believe it or not, and I know I've seen clip for whatever reason I can't find it now, so I got to go to this rabbit hole to find it because I'm not really invested in this. But when I try to do some research, and the reason why they are invested with Palestine is because while Palestine was going way extreme with their religion, or even being a woman, because we don't even have that conversation how the way they treated women out there.
Right. Yeah, let's not get into that. But yeah,
or even like the few gay Palestinians that were actually gay and had to hide their sexuality because they don't even rock with that. They went to Palestine and they were more accepting to whatever lifestyle they were rocking with. And they would give more opportunities, but they didn't care, as so opposed to Palestine, you have to be a Muslim, you have to be a this, and you have to be a that to rock with them. And people don't want to have that thing. But, she was army saying like, oh, they're all just ops, they're all paid agents, they're all this and that. And she just didn't want to accept it as people that don't rock with them.
Right. Exactly.
And I've talked to both sides. And, Israel, the people that are pro-Israel, they've come to accept that not everybody's rocking with us. Not everybody's on our side. We just got to take what us said. The other side, they have this weird thing that the world's rocking with them. If you're not rocking with them, you're part of the problem. Or if you're rocking with the other side, then you're opposing in, you're a paid agent. And they become a little bit disillusional. Yeah. But, and to also bring it full circle, I had this lady on the show, on my radio show, and she was from Sudan. And she talked about how she had to escape Sudan, like, because the way she had to escape, it was like a damn near movie. But I asked her what was the reason why she escaped. And as much people want to blame America and blame Europe, and like, no, the issue was actually us. And the main thing was religion. You had people from North Sudan that were extreme Muslims, and they would try to shove that religion towards the people down south. They were more Christian, Catholic, and that's when the war began. And what happened was the government, they took advantage of that and like, okay, this is our opportunity to do whatever we want, as to oppose, kidnapping kids, kidnapping women, make them our sex slave, human trafficking, get these kids to, learn to become murderers and hunt for these diamonds and oppress their own people. So se aprovecharon, and they did what they did. So it's a lot of nasty work going behind the scenes. Yep. And people
don't want to accept that.
Don't want to accept that. And I had a conversation with Orlando, and I mean, this is something I had to learn to accept now, even though, our plight is Cuba. So when, we're talking about Israel and Palestine, I'm like, I really don't give a fuck about that. And then you got your stupid, what do you mean you don't give a fuck about it? You don't care about the people? I'm like, no, sir, I'm not invested with that. And you guys need to get out of that head thing. Those two are going
But
to
you
go
need
at
to be
it till
invested in
forever.
everything.
Not really. I'm not invested.
I'm
I'm
not
invested in
offended. I'm
war.
not offended when people don't want to talk about Cuba and they think it's not their problem, because it really isn't. If you're not Cuban, it doesn't hit home. I get
I
it.
have
I'm
to.
not
I get
offended.
it.
My job is to simply raise awareness. And if you have an opinion that I believe is misinformed, I'm here to tell you, what's about. But
Yeah.
I don't get offended when people say that's not my issue, because it really isn't. And it really isn't the United States issue at all. We're just here because we are Cuban or Cuban descent, and we want to raise awareness, period. And we see a concern. But honestly, the United States doesn't have to be invested in the issues of other countries. Like, we don't have to have a whole society, converting to Muslim religion or siding with Israel, like, death or die, do or die. Like, we don't have to be. Like, we have to understand that. Like, if you're Israeli, okay. If you're from Palestine, okay, we understand. But it's not expected for every single person in the United States to be siding with one or the other. But like the news and these groups make it seem like you have to be. No, you don't. We have so many problems here we need to address.
Yeah, 1000%. And I don't fucking feel like it. I got my own fucking problems with the little island I got to deal with.
Yes. Like, when people tell me that and about Cuba, I completely understand, because we do have our own problems. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep voice because it hits home, But and I respect anyone who speaks on their culture because it hits home for them. But I don't expect everyone to be like, I free Cuba. No, because if it doesn't hit home. But I'm here to tell you what the truth is. And if you're talking about Cuba being so great, then I'm going to tell you because you asked for it. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that we need to be more realistic, man. We just live in this little bubble of delusion, and we need to be. Life is hard, life is real, and we're just really wanting to live in this little, como que todo está aquí. You know what I'm saying? No, la realidad es muy difícil de aceptar. People don't want to accept reality. It's hard as hell to accept, but it takes courage, and that's the only way to move forward, to finally accept it, address it. If not, we keep jumping around it, and it just, we keep living in la la land, like in our little bubble, and we don't get anywhere.
And it's not realistic. It's not
realistic. No, it's not.
Because in my happy-go-lucky world, I would love to, everybody be in peace. I would love to, be no murders, no rape, no, everybody be hugging, somebody get a guitar, I'll be a tree hugger and whatever the case may be. But
that's not how it works.
Realistic. It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
How it works.
Yeah. So I have an idea sometime in the future. I want to have a live. I'll say it right now. Sometime in the future, I really, really want to have a live with you and Grecia and even Nelson in the mix, because I want to get like all our powers combined, like Captain Planet.
What a gang!
It will be some shit. I really want to.
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will be.
I want to make something happen sometime in time. Yeah, man, because I know with Grace, I'm just won't call away. She'll do anything I ask her to because she owed me a couple of favors. I'm like the mob right now. I'm like, you owe me a favor, son. Love her.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's awesome.
I had her on my radio show and on my TV show. It was basically the Gracia takeover, and everybody loved her. Everybody loved her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah, man. So what's up next for Spanglish? What's your next video topic gonna be about?
Everything. I like you said, spiritual is big for me, and I wanna branch into. I wanna explore that further. But of course, never not descuidando my passion about speaking about social issues, but definitely want to focus a lot on spirituality, man, because I just think we need it. I think it's important, and I think it's my forte. So I don't want to dismiss that, and I don't want to descuidar esa parte. I don't want to let it go.
Perfect. Oh, before I forget,
what's up?
Who is your least favorite member of the View? Who's the one that gets in your nerves?
Oh my gosh, no, people tell me, do you actually follow like contrasting people and people that you don't agree with? I guess I follow a lot of people I don't agree with, and I actually enjoy watching The View, even though it's so freaking frustrating. But I'll tell you, my least person that I don't know, because my favorites, I have a love-hate with Whoopi. I love her, and then at the same time, I'm like, damn it, why do I love you? Because I can't, but I love her. My least favorite, I would say it's either that girl that they have on there, Farah. She's supposed to be the conservative voice. Is it Farah? I
I don't
can't
know.
even remember.
I don't know, because if you got this thing like every like 4 seasons, they keep changing the conservative person because they had enough of them and they just leave. So every like 4 seasons, the conservative person never
I don't,
lasts.
I don't, I don't like I don't like her on The View. And Sunny frustrates me. Sunny Hostin just frustrates me. It's not a dislike issue. I don't dislike her. I'm just frustrated by her tremendously because I think that such a smart person can't possibly have these views. It has to be on purpose that she, or there's something else there. It's just very frustrating. It doesn't click that someone with an Ivy League education and with her background would believe the things that she says she believes. But yeah, I watch The View regularly on YouTube because I can't watch it, of course, live, and I don't have the time to, sit there through a whole show. But it's a frustrating thing to watch, but I think it's part of the exercise of listening to opposing views and what is being said on mainstream. Because if you actually watch The View, honestly, if you actually watch if you're a common sense person and you're
I
on the
don't bug that.
fence, no, but I'm saying if you're a common sense person and you're on the fence about, who's right, who's wrong in the media, and you watch The View consistently for 2-3 weeks, I give you 3 weeks. I think you would decide to be a conservative and to like, not because conservatives are right, but because The View just convinces you that it's not, that's not the way. So it makes you want to run the other way. And that's why I'm marveled by the people who actually follow it blindly and love it so much, because I just think I don't know what they're thinking. The View is one of the shows that turned me around even more to the conservative side. I've always been very independent in the middle, I've never veered to the left, but The View just made me want to go to the right. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wrong turn.
So I sent you, I don't know if you watched it, but I sent you 2 links of a View episode last year. It was one that we were talking about Fidel Castro, and it was one about Bernie Sanders. I don't know if you saw it, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Like
So
George,
it was so weird.
yes.
Yeah, but it was so weird because it was like they know he was this and the third, and it was like they looked like they wanted to go like all in, that he was like what he was, but it was like something that was holding back. Like, I can't say this because I might lose the audience. And that, especially Whoopi and Sonny, those were the two, because the conservative one was all in. She was like, he was this and the third. Those two, Whoopi and Sonny, they were like, yeah, he was this, but yeah. It was like, and God, I don't know. I was supposed to let you go, so I'm sorry if you got to go to bed or something like that. But
I'm gonna put my kids to bed.
Yeah, but that's the part I'm gonna know with these freaking communists is like they were like, they'll try to have this half-ass reasoning thing, like, yeah, he was a dictator, but it's like, look at the bright side, you get free shit. And that's the part of that fucking book, like, look at the crumbs. And it was like, you say that to me, that's the equivalent of like a woman being with an abusive man and that she should be happy that she's with him because he's paying her rent, got her a new car, got her this new cell phone. Basically, I'm taking care of you, but even though I'm taking care of you, you're supposed to take this ass whooping that I'm giving
abusing you, but you should be grateful because you have a roof over your head.
Yeah,
a roof over your head abused, but you have it.
Yeah, and I don't ask any money for you. I don't ask shit, but you got a black eye, but you should be grateful because I'm giving you this I'm giving you this other shit. So it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
I won't take up much of your time, my friend. Thank you. I really want to do a part 2 before the summer ends.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that live.
Yeah, I'll talk to Nelson and Grace in that department, see if they want to roll with it. I know they don't have a problem with it. You just got to work around their schedule. Do me a favor. I enjoy watching your stories. Can you at least put them on like your main thing or whatever? Like on your...
I've thought about that.
It's like watching the news and I'm like, gee, I got like... And every time I watch the news, like I watch the last 44 seconds of your thought-provoking ways how you feel about something. Like, can you just put them on your daggone thing? At least leave it for like a week.
I'm thinking about it. I should just download the stories and just put them in the thing.
Yeah, get to it already, my friend. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like this shit was a fucking therapy session instead of fucking having a conversation. So like, you know what really makes me mad? You know what really makes me mad? Communists.
Let me talk to me.
You know what got me mad? You got me mad. Purpose of Americans, and they pretty much way. You don't get me mad. College, dumbass college kids.
I know.
Man. Yeah.
There's
but,
there's a kid. There's one of the kids. Okay.
All right, guys. Yo, this is the
Thank
Ruckus
you.
podcast. I got a homie Day, aka Spanglish. Please follow her, Spanglish Generation, at the Instagram. We gotta do more of this. At least do a live or
Yes.
either an individual live. Cause I know people they love you. They love you.
Awesome.
And
Thank
the
you
guys
so
love
much.
you too. The guys love you too, but I tell her you married, so you gotta get away from that. Just enjoy her thought-provoking ways. She's not about that life. All right. Stop being a pervert. But yo, we catch you every Thursday on the podcast, Ruckus 102.9, and I'm done. I'm out. Peace. Oh, hey, muchas gracias, my friend.
No, por favor. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So next time when I get to Florida, I'll definitely hit you up. Most likely I'll be on my lane.
Yes.
And
Let me
we'll
know.
definitely do it up. Gotcha.
Dale.
All right, peace.
Un besito.
Yeah.